Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the day 4 of our Upskill program. I believe you are excited just as I am. And if you are excited, I would like to see some emojis down at chat buttons. Drop your emojis so that we know that we are with us. And don't forget to grab your pen and your paper so that you can jot some things that you learned today, because you never know where it will be useful. Let's get right into it. First off, we start with the testimonials from the beneficiaries of the Upskill 1.0 video. Let's watch.
Every journey they say begins with a single step. But I say that it is the unique footprint we leave that truly defines us. Hi there, I am Eunice Adeosi, and my journey began as a response to the challenges I witnessed growing up. Raised in a small family that struggled financially after losing my father at age 9, I faced harsh realities. However, instead of giving up, I saw this as an opportunity to empower myself and other females in similar situations. My gap year was when I discovered my passion for tech, advocacy, leadership, and volunteering. Driven by a strong desire to alleviate poverty and challenge gender stereotypes that I noticed in my rural community at the time in Lagos State, Nigeria, I founded Female Youth Global Empowerment, an NGO that equips young women with globally demanded skills to narrow gender gap in tech by promoting digital literacy and fostering the inclusion of women in STEM fields. So far, we have reached over 2,500 youth. I organized the Global 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence campaign at ALE. The campaign brought together diverse advocates from 15 African countries, India, Haiti, and Japan, and we reached a total of 34,796 people with our message.
Hello everyone, my name is Blessing and I've been volunteering with the Female Youth Global Empowerment for the past 3 years. And being part of FYGE has been incredibly amazing, I must say. I've had the opportunity to network with people, make new friends like Salma, Kimiradi, Pixel, Sophia, and so many others. And I've also had the opportunity to work in different teams as a team member and also a team leader. And yeah, it's really been an amazing moment with FYG. And one of my favorite moments was in 2021, December, where we had the 1 week intensive digital training class from Upskill 1.0. And I was part of the fans. I had the opportunity to learn different things about the importance of LinkedIn optimization, brand marketing, brand awareness, content creation, the importance of volunteering, and it was really an eye-opener for me. And I feel this moment like this that reminds me of the impact we are making here at FYG. So yeah, I'm really proud to be part of an organization that's making a real difference in the lives of young girls. And I'm excited to see what the future brings.
Hi, I'm the Moderator and I was a beneficiary of FYG's Upskill program in 2021. I learned about 8 digital skills, so in this I've gotten certified. FYG helped me discover my passion for technology and women development. Also helped my passion for content writing to be more intent. One of the skills we were taught was web development. Always interested in web development. I found this lesson very engaging and very valuable. And that's why after the Upskill program, I decided to further pursue web development, but I only a training where I learned how to use HTML and CSS to create a 3-page website on my phone. In essence, the Upskill program opened my eyes to see hidden gems in web development. Another skill was freelancing, which was taught by Lena Robert, where I learned how to use my skills to make more money. So I am someone who is passionate about content writing and SEO. The freelancing class opened my eyes to certain platforms where I can actually earn money and I will not be restricted by monthly pay. I never thought that I was actually going to learn so much in just 8 days and get certified, but FYG made this possible and I'm super grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, FYG.
These are just few of the many success stories FYG has helped to create through education, digital literacy, and empowerment. and we are shaping the next future female leaders.
We cannot wait for the government to cause a change, which is why I believe in grassroots initiatives to provoke the change that we want to see.
Not in our mission to empower young girls, are built a more inclusive and equitable society. Visits are events to learn more about how the can get involved.
Thank you, and I can't wait for the exciting experiences ahead.
We can make a difference.
We are moving on to our agenda, and before that, don't forget, keep dropping the emojis, keep dropping, engage in the chat button. Your energy also gives us energy to keep talking. So in our agenda today, the first thing we have is the welcome address and the housekeeping rules. Then we'll talk about nexogirls and Upskill 2.0. Then we also have the speaker session, which will last for 60 minutes. Then the interactive Q&A questions section. So you drop your question in the chat button so that we can interact with you during that 10 minutes of Q&A. Don't forget, engage in the chat button. Then after that, we have our closing remarks. So we are moving over to who is speaking on your screen. So my name is Augustine Chinonso, and I am a volunteer at nexogirls and also the content creation team lead. So I'll be your moderator for day 4 of the Upskill 2.0. And I can't continue to talk about this Upskill 2.0 without recognizing our founder, Miss Eunice Adewusi. Now we are going over to the housekeeping rules. What are the rules during this live stream? First, feel free to share your questions on the comment section in YouTube live chats. Then your questions will be relayed by the moderators to the speaker during the Q&A segments. Then this session, know that is being recorded for promotional and also educational purposes. So by participating via chat, you consent to your comments being visible in the recording. Then if you feel or experience any interruption during this live stream, try refreshing your browser or check your internet connection so that you can have a smooth experience. Now, what's Upskill? What is this Upskill about? Well, Upskill is a transformative 8-day program designed to equip the participants with foundational knowledge or essential skills, 8 in particular, to help them in technology, leadership, and also in their personal development. So we've had the Upskill 1.0 before, and that was held in 2021. And this Upskill 2.0 now is brought to you, which you are currently participating in this 2024. So nexogirls aims at empowering young people through this Upskill program with practical and in-demand skills. Now, what is this nexogirls all about? These nexogirls you have been hearing, these people that are hosting this Upskill program, who are they? What do they do? Well, nexogirls, which were formerly known as the Female Youth Global Empowerment, FYG, before we rebranded, is a non-profit organization which are dedicated to promoting gender equity and digital literacy among young women by encouraging them to participate in the fields of science, tech, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and also social advocacy in a bid to alleviate poverty and also the stereotypes in our society about gender. Over the period of the 8 days, like I said, we are in day 4. We have been getting feedbacks from our fellow participants who have been giving us their experiences throughout this Upskill program. So I'll be discussing or be reading out the comments of the people that were in this program in day 3. So we have a participant that said the speaker really gave concise and adequate information on the subject matter. She was excellent. Thank you for this, your feedback. We really appreciate it. And that's why I said keep engaging in the comment section. Join this program. We really appreciate your feedbacks, because your feedbacks is what gives us the energy to keep going and to host this program too. So another person shared, it was a practical section and I got to learn more on community management. And I really hope that that person is on this call today, because I would want you to learn more on what we are discussing today. So now we are going to go over to who is our guest speaker today, who is speaking with us today. So let's watch a short video introducing the bio of the person that is going to discuss with us today. What an interesting bio. I hope you watched through this video to see that our speaker really has an interesting bio, meaning that she has a lot of information for us today. I hope you are ready, because I am ready. My book and my pen and my paper is here with me to jot information, and I want you to do so. So we are inviting our guest speaker now to speak. Please leave your questions in the comment section.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm so sorry. I think because of the blinds, that's why everywhere looks quite dark. But I hope you can see my face. But even if you can't see my face, you can hear my voice, and that's the most important thing, right? So, first off, I want to appreciate Nexo Girls for the invite, and thank you to the founder Eunice. It's really beautiful to see what you are doing, especially for people in the tech space. I love when I see initiatives like this, right? It excites me so much, and I'm so honored to be here. And to each and everyone on the call today, thank you for turning up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here tonight. So tonight I'm going to be talking about personal branding, right? I'm going to be sharing with you how to build a personal brand. Most of the times when I want to take sessions like this, I do not just say personal brand, right? I teach you how to build a global brand, because there are a lot of personal brands, right? A lot of them. But then there are just few people that are building global brands. So tonight I'm going to be teaching you how to build that global brand, right? In whatever niche that you are in. Because I know that some people are doing front end, some are doing back end, some are doing community management, social media, and all. But then how do you build a global brand? How do you build a brand that would attract opportunities to you, right? I mean, jobs, speaking engagements, where you get to make impact, and every other thing that you've ever dreamt of. So first off, one thing I want to say is, the first time I heard about personal branding, right, it wasn't something that I had interest in. And I know that there are people like that here on the call. They're like, oh, I don't need to build on social media. I'm not interested. I don't like social media. I don't like to put myself out. I'm an introvert. You know all those excuses, right? I've been there. So I always had that notion that I didn't have to build my brand, right? I can always get the jobs, I can get the opportunities, I can get whatever that I wanted. In fact, at that time, I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for speaking engagements. I wasn't looking for opportunities. The only thing I wanted was, okay, a good job in tech, like most people want today. So I didn't see any need to build my brand online. I didn't see any need to put myself out there. And I know that there are quite a number of people like that today. But trust me, I want you to take this with you today, right? Trust me, building your brand will give you an edge over every other person in your field. Over every other person. It will give you that edge, right? It will give you that it's a very, very big plus to you. You will never, ever regret it. It's not something that you be like, I wish. You can't. It's not possible. The benefits are just endless. The benefits are boundless, right? When I started to build my brand, in fact, I told you that I wasn't interested, right? I started building it mistakenly. And at that time, I wasn't doing anything. And the reason why I chose LinkedIn was because I didn't want a place where anybody knew me. I wanted a place where, I told you I'm a very introverted person. I wanted a place where nobody would know that it's Boluwatife. I'll just be posting and disappearing, not doing anything. So I just started to put myself out. It was a particular time where my laptop was bad, my phone too, it wasn't so good. I couldn't download apps to learn how to code, right? I was interested in front end that time. So I couldn't download the app because I know you can code on your phone, but my phone was just giving me issues. The only thing I could do was WhatsApp and LinkedIn. And I was like, let me just be posting on LinkedIn. Let me just be posting on. Mind you, at that point, I didn't even have a skill. I'm trying to give you this backstory so that I want you to put away every notion that you might have had about personal branding. I didn't have a skill. The only thing I knew was I love tech, right? I want to be a tech sis. But I didn't have a laptop. Even my phone was not so good. The only thing I knew how to do was to write. And I had LinkedIn on my phone. And I started to put myself out. And I said, I didn't put myself out because at that time, what was in my head was not I was putting myself out. I was just posting. I was just making posts. And I remember that time I saw on someone's WhatsApp status that she was organizing a 50 days of writing challenge. And I was like, I'm not doing anything. Let me just join this challenge. At least I'll know that, okay, I did one thing for myself at this phase of my life. I wrote for 50 days. And that was it. And that one decision changed my life forever. That one decision. I started to talk about my passion for tech, how I started learning, how I did not have a laptop, and it caused me to stop learning. All those, the little small stories. I wasn't learning at that time. This is for you that you feel like, okay, I need to get a job before I start building my brand. Or I need to be making $10,000 before I start building my brand. Or I don't know anything yet. I just told you, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a skill. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. The only thing I had was my pen, right? I knew how to write. And that one decision changed my life. I remember after posting for a while, I started to get speaking engagements. The person reached out to me on WhatsApp and I was like, what's going on? Like, do you know what you're talking? Do you know the person you're talking to? What do I know? I'm not making any money. I'm just a girl, right? With passion. And I started to get speaking engagement. I started to understand the platform. I started to get opportunities. Before you knew it, I wanted to apply for a job, right? And my main focus on personal branding today is going to be LinkedIn. If I'm preaching about personal branding, you won't hear me talk about Instagram because I don't know how it works. You won't hear me talk about Twitter. I don't know how it works. But that one platform that you hear from is LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is, I'll tell you, is the boss of is the boss. You can't tell me anything else, right? If you want to apply for a job, they tell you that your CV or your Instagram profile or your Twitter profile. No, it's your CV or your LinkedIn profile, right? I wanted to apply for a job and I reached out to the person and she was like, can I see your LinkedIn? I immediately saw my LinkedIn. That was it. You're building your brand on LinkedIn is just like you are just putting your CV out there, right? Even if you are still learning, please, I don't want I don't want your excuse to be, I'm still learning. I don't really know it yet. Me, I didn't even know anything. I didn't know anything. I just had the passion, and because of the passion, of course, I was learning on my own, right? I was learning on my phone, watching videos and all. But I'm just telling you that I wasn't a pro yet. I wasn't an influencer. I didn't have 40,000 followers then. I started from zero, and it changed my life. So today I'm going to be talking about personal branding. Excuse me, and how to build your personal brand on LinkedIn. Please, whatever notion that you have about LinkedIn, if you are LinkedIn is oppressing, they are full of liars, they are full of these, you know all those things that they say about LinkedIn. Please, just drop it aside and listen to Boluwatife tonight, please. One thing I used to tell people that say LinkedIn is oppressing, what is your business? Leave the people that are lying alone and focus on what you want. Focus on what you are on the platform for. Enough of the, you know what everybody says, right? You know what you guys say. It's oppressing, is this, is that. It's all, they're always lying. Everybody's getting a new job. Everybody's getting a new car. Everybody's getting promotion. Enough, please. Just put it aside, okay? And listen to Boluwatife tonight. So what exactly is personal branding? I'm very sure that a lot of you must have read personal branding. And just like I said, I'm going to be focusing on LinkedIn, right? The main focus is LinkedIn. I don't care about any other platform. Of course, it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But LinkedIn, that's the one that I have a testimony on, right? And that's what I'm always going to preach. So what exactly is personal branding, right? Personal branding is you creating a brand, right, that reflects your identity, your personality, right? From your name to the way you talk, to the way you write. Personal branding is everything that depicts who you are. It is what people say about you when you are not in the room. I remember when I started out, I told you I started mistakenly, right? And I remember I went on a break for a while and I came back. And people were calling me, oh, LinkedIn Texas is back. LinkedIn Texas. And I'm like, LinkedIn Texas? When did I tell these people that I made Texas? When did I tell these people that they can start calling me this? When did I tell these people that they can start calling me tech influencer? It was shocking. But just because of the way I had put myself out, the way I had, the value I put out, the way I was writing, the way I was talking, the images I was using, I was building a brand, right? So it is what people say about me when I'm not in the room. There are a lot of times that I'm not in conversations and someone is like, somebody told me that you are a tech influencer. I don't have to be there. So you have to know what you want to be known for, right? Your personal brand is your reputation, right? Apart from you even building online, everybody here, you have a personal brand. Everybody, right? Whether you are in your school or you are working, without, some people can just like, that girl, that quiet girl that she doesn't talk, that she doesn't do this. Like, you probably want to describe someone to someone, maybe someone in your class, right? So you can give the qualities of that person and the person will get it immediately. You are building a personal brand. So you can have a personal brand offline, you can have a personal brand online. But then why we are here today, right? The online presence, it means creating and communicating a consistent image of yourself. It has to be consistent. You have to define it, that this is what, and when people think about Boluwatife Rotimi, they think about tech. When they think about Theodora, I don't know what you do, probably they think about front end. Or when they think about Eunice, they think about AI, or they think about Hemel, right? You have to know what you want, right? Personal branding means creating and communicating a consistent image of yourself to your target audience. I've said quite a number of things. You are creating it. And after creating it, you are communicating it. And when you are communicating it, you have to be consistent with it. You're not going to come today and say, okay, I'm a writer. Tomorrow, you're a front-end developer. Tomorrow, the next week, you are a back-end developer. Next month, you are doing AI. You have to be consistent, right? You have to be consistent. You have to create it and communicate it consistently. And now to your target audience, you can't serve everybody. For example, me now, I know that my target audience are young people, right? Old people, I don't have a business with old people, like 70, 80, 90. No, I don't have a business with them, right? or people that I'm trying to think about different target audiences, right? For example, an hairdresser, a target audience would be different from me that wants to bring young people into tech, right? So you have to be very, 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 or someone selling drugs, right? All these supplements, their target audience is always old people. It's going to be different from me, or it's different from you that is a software engineer and wants to get gigs, right? Your target audience is going to be very, very different. So you have to know these things, right? Oh, sorry, I got distracted. So you have to be very, very sure about the image that you want to create to your target audience. So it helps you to stand out from the crowd, right? It helps you to showcase your value and attract opportunities, right? Building your brand, you don't necessarily have to be there. You would, your work would do the talking, right? I can't count the number of opportunities that I've gotten, and sometimes I don't even know the person, and it's so shocking. The person's like, someone told me that you're on LinkedIn, you're a tech influencer, and I'm like, who told you? And he mentions one name, probably someone that just sees my post and just know that, okay, this person is a tech influencer. I'm like, how? I did. Let me tell you a secret, right? Since I've been on LinkedIn, I've never sat down to. Sorry, I want to turn off my notifications. All right. So since I've been on LinkedIn, I've never sat down to say that, you guys call me tech influencer. I'm now your tech influencer. You guys, this is my name now. This is what I want to do. I've never introduced myself. But then just because of what I've been putting out, right? I knew what I wanted, and I created a consistent image of myself, right? I communicated a consistent image of myself. So how exactly do you build your personal brand, right? I've explained to you what personal branding is, why you should build your personal brand. And you're like, okay, Bolu, please, how exactly do I get started? The first thing that you want to do is to know your why. Identify your purpose, right? And I said I'm going to be focusing on LinkedIn. Why do you want to build your brand online? Why exactly do you want to put yourself out, right? What is your why? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is your passion? All these things, you have to define it, right? What are the problems that you want to solve? What is that thing what impact do you want to make? I don't know if anybody's getting me, right? So you have to make it clear. You have to know what you want. Why exactly do you want to build your brand? Okay, I want to put out opportunities for people in the tech space. Okay, I want to get a lot of people into tech space. Okay, I want to solve problems for front-end developers that are just starting out, right? I want to solve problems for people that are confused about getting started in community management. Okay, I just want to grow a community of community managers or a community of back-end developers. Or I just want to share my journey, right? You have to be very, very sure about what you want. You have to be sure about why you are putting yourself out. Why exactly are you building your brand? What's that problem that you want to solve? If you are not sure about your why, it's going to be very, very hard to be consistent. That's just the truth. I've gotten on calls with people and they're like, Bulu, how are you consistent? What is your drive? What is this? What is that? I've been trying to be consistent, but I keep stopping. And I'll ask them, why exactly are you on LinkedIn? Why do you want to build your brand on LinkedIn? And they're like, I'm not sure. That is why it is hard to stay consistent. You have to have something that drives you. There are a lot of times that I don't want to show up, right? I told you I'm a very introverted person. And there are a lot of times that I'm tired, I'm exhausted, or from work. And I think about my why. I think about my purpose, my vision, what I want to see, the kind of brand I want to build, where I'm going to, the problems I want to solve. I will show up. It's enough. It's enough. I told you the first time that I started on LinkedIn, I was building mistakenly. I had a purpose. And what was my purpose? I was not doing anything at the time, right? And I just wanted to do something for myself at that time. I wasn't doing anything. Like it felt like I was just jobless. And I was like, okay, you have to achieve this thing. It was during ASU strike. People that in Nigeria know what ASU strike is. It was during ASU strike, right? And I was like, okay, this one thing, you have to just do it during the strike. And that was my why. That was what was pushing me. And I went for 50 days, non-stop. You have to have a why. You have to have something solid. Something has to push you. Something has to drive you. You have to find it. Because if you don't find it, it's going to be very, very hard to even, you will listen to me now. You'll be motivated, you'll be gingered. But later on, it's just, you just see that the fuel has gone down, right? There's no fuel again. There's no fuel to push again. You have to know your why. You have to identify your purpose. Most of the time I tell my students, right? Write it out, write it plain. The Bible said it. Write out the vision thing. Paste it on your wall. When you don't feel like writing, when you don't feel like posting, or you don't feel like putting yourself out, go and check where you're going. Go and check your drive, check your purpose. So I'm looking at the world, that's why I'm turning my face. Right? So you have to be very, 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 very sure about it. I should wake you up at the middle of the night. Why are you building your brand on LinkedIn? What exactly are you building your personal brand for? And for me, right, I can sit you down for 24 hours and I'm telling you why I'm building my brand on LinkedIn. Is that deep? Yes. Find something that deep. So we'll be proceeding, right? So that would guide everything that you want to do. Everything that you do, your why would drive you, your mission, your vision, your passion. It will guide everything that you want to do. It will guide your decisions. It will guide your actions. Some people might think that what I'm saying is very, very cliche, but it's not. I know you've heard about it, know your purpose, know your why, but some of you don't know it yet, right? And you have to, and sometimes if you know it and it's not enough to push you, then maybe it's not big enough. Maybe it's not as strong as it should be. You have to find something that's strong, right? It's going to guide your messages. It's going to guide your actions. It's going to guide your decisions, right? For example, there are some things I cannot post on my page. It doesn't align with what I want to build. It doesn't align with what I want to be known for, right? I remember when I started out, I didn't even know the rules of personal branding then. But then I just knew what I wanted to be known for. And I remember someone reaching out to me, a friend of mine, and was like, please let me repost this. And I read it and it wasn't aligning with what I wanted. It wasn't aligning with my vision or what I wanted to be known for. And I said, I'm sorry, I won't be able to post it. Yes, your why has to be strong enough. There are some things that you have to say no to because it doesn't align with what you want to be known for, right? So this is a very, very, very important point. It's my first point, and I could spend a long time talking about this, right? You have to be backed up by substance. I know why I'm saying this because building on LinkedIn is hard. And trust me, this is what keeps me going, like most times, right? Almost every day. Every day I have to remind myself because I told you I don't want to build my brand on LinkedIn. Most of the times I'm like, I don't want this for myself. Why? But then I have to remind myself all over and all over again that see what you're trying to do. And you're already on the path. Why stop now? So you have to find all these things, right? And the next thing I want to say is that you have to define your niche, right? You have to define your niche. All right, sorry, I have to quickly attend to someone. Can anybody hear me, please?
Yes.
All right. So the next thing that you want to do is to ensure that you define your niche, right? Sorry, a minute. I have to send something to someone. Sorry, I just got a call now. All right. So you have to define your niche, right? What is that thing that you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for front end, or do you want to be known for back end, or do you want to be known for community management? You have to be very, 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 very sure that this is what you want to be known for. If not, you just be doing, some people, when they are there's something called profile optimization, right? I know that you guys must have read about that on LinkedIn. And on their headlines, right, you are seeing a lot of things, right? You are seeing back end, you are seeing front end, you are seeing writer, you are seeing this, you're seeing, and it's just so confusing. So you have to be sure about your niche, right? You have to define your niche. You have to know that, okay, yes, this is that one thing that I want to be known for, and you must not confuse it, and you must not you must not just do on and off, right? Today you are a front-end developer, tomorrow you're a back-end developer, tomorrow you are this, you are that. So you have to define your niche, and you have to define who you want to serve, right? Your niche is going to determine who you want to serve. Though there are some niches that you can serve quite a number of people, right? For example, probably you're a writer and you just want to focus on Web3 people, right? So you have to focus on who you want to serve and be sure about it. Most of the times I used to tell people to write it down, right? The niche that you want to be known for, define it, right? It's always very, very good. Most of your top creators today, or most of your top influencers today, right? You see that they have one niche. They don't have a number of things that they are doing. They don't have a lot of things. For example, Salem King, is a content creator. For example, Peace Itini, right? You know that she's into digital marketing, community development, community management, right? So all those things, you have to be very, 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 very sure about it. So when you define your niche, you have to also understand that you have to also understand what they need, right? At that point in time. I'm sorry, I need to take 2 minutes. Can you give me 2 minutes? I'll be back in 2 minutes, please. All right, so sorry. I had to quickly complete something at work. I had to quickly send something. All right. Sorry, am I still audible?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, apologies for that breaking transmission. So I was saying something, right? You have to define your niche. You have to know who you want to serve, and you have to know what they need, right? How can you help them? You have to be specific. And the reason why I'm saying that you should define your niche is because you have to choose something that you're passionate about. Because if you're not passionate about it, it will be very, very hard to create a consistent brand in it, right? The reason why I'm able to do so well, right? I'm able to pull myself out. I'm able to always have content, right? There's always content in my head. It's because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, right? I always have an idea. I always have something to share. I always go the extra mile, right? When I did that 50 days of writing challenge, right? I used to go, even the fact that I didn't know anything at that time, I didn't really know too much about tech. I would have to go on YouTube, watch videos, read up on things, read articles, just because I want to give my audience something, right? And I also want to learn so much more. So you have to be passionate. You have to choose something that you love. You have to choose something that you know about. And you also have to find your unique selling proposition, right? You have to find your unique selling point. What is that one thing that would differentiate you from every other person in your niche? There are a lot of front-end developers. There are a lot of back-end developers. There are a lot of tech influencers. There are a lot of community managers, social media managers. But what is going to make you different? What's going to make your brand different? There's something that makes your own brand unique. You have to find it, right? You have to be very, very, very sure. You have to find a way to differentiate yourself. You have to find a way to stand out, because a lot of people are building brand. Check LinkedIn, you see, like, go and search for software engineers or search for back-end developers. You see a lot of them. But then why should they follow you, right? Why should they hire you? Why should they work with you? Why should they join your community, right? You have to find those things. You have to differentiate yourself from the competition. You have to find that one thing that makes you stand out from the crowd, right? Which will lead me to the third thing I will talk about, which is to find your voice, right? There's so much noise on LinkedIn, so much noise, but then you have to find your own voice, your own unique voice, right? Don't be a copycat. Don't be that, okay, this is the trend on LinkedIn right now, and this is how people write on LinkedIn. And for you know it, you're also using that same method, right? Just because that is what you are doing on LinkedIn. So you have to be very, very sure. Sorry, can anybody hear me? I'm so sorry about the break in transmission. Can anybody hear me, please? Is it my network? I can't hear anybody. Can anybody hear me?
Can hear you.
Okay, can anybody hear me, please? I just thought my sound was off or something. Hey, God.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. So I was saying something, right? I was saying that you have to find your voice, right? What's your tone? What's your style? What's your personality? And just like I said, you have to be consistent with it. You have to be engaging with it, and you have to make sure that it reflects your values and what you want to be known for. And one thing I'm going to say is that you have to be very, very authentic, right? Your brand is for humans, right? And your brand also has to be human. Do you get me? And when I'm saying that, I mean you have to be engaging. Don't talk like you are talking to robots. One of the things I used to advise is when you want to write posts, because I know that, yes, you are tech bros and tech sisters, and you go to ChatGPT and you go and copy something and you paste it on LinkedIn and you post. No, it's not going to work like that, right? You have to be able to evoke emotions, and that is where the place of storytelling comes to play, right? One of the things that has really, really helped me in building my brand is the part of me you're always using storytelling, right? And when I mean by storytelling is you trying to evoke emotions, right? You have to find a way to make sure that people that are listening to you can carry out an action, right? Probably that they follow you or they join your community or whatever that you want them to do, right? But if you're just going to ChatGPT to copy and paste, trust me, it's not going to work. So your brand is human, is for humans, right? So make sure that it's human, make sure that it's engaging. One of the things that helps me when it comes to storytelling is no matter what you're doing, right? Even if you're a back-end developer or anything, it's for everybody. Whenever you're writing, right? Whenever that you want to post on LinkedIn, make sure that you write like you are talking to your friend, right? Make sure that you write like, you know, the way you talk to your friends, right? You know, the way you interact with them, you know, the way you're friendly. Don't talk to people or don't talk to your audience, right, like you're talking to strangers. Of course they are strangers, but make sure that you don't talk to them that way. Make sure that you use a friendly tone, right? The way you would talk to your friends, the way you would interact with your friends, you have to ensure that you talk to them that way, right? Find your voice. Your voice is unique, so make sure that you find it. And the next thing that I want to talk about is to be valuable, right? You have to give out value. And that is one thing that is going to help you thrive on LinkedIn or help you thrive in building a personal brand. There has to be a reason for them to stay, right? If there's no reason for them to stay, everybody, they'll get bored and be like, okay, what does this person really have to say? You are humans, right? You're also everybody here, you can understand what I'm saying. If there's no value in a particular place, if you're not getting anything from there, then you go, right? What exactly are you there for? So you have to give them reasons for them to stay. You have to give your community members reason for them to stay. Just like I said, when I started building my brand, I didn't plan anything. I was passionate. That's why I said you have to be passionate about whatever that you want to do, right? You have to be very, very passionate about it. Or the niche that you're choosing, you have to be very, very passionate about it. A minute, please. All right, guys. So I'm so sorry about the a minute, 2 minutes. I had something urgent at work, so I just had to text my boss now. But it's all sorted now. So you have to ensure that you sorry, I'm following some points here. Yeah, you have to ensure that you deliver value and you have to give them a reason to stay. Because if there's no reason for them to stay, they are going to that's why most people complain that people are not engaging their content, or nobody likes my content, nobody's following me, right? It didn't take me, like, the way my followers were growing was so shocking to me, because I told you I wasn't planning to build my brand, right? I wasn't planning to do anything on LinkedIn. My first 200 followers, 200, I'm on 40,000 now, 200, that was last 2 years. I was so excited. I went to create flyer. I posted it. I was like, I know you guys might think that 200 is little, but it's so big to me because I wasn't expecting anything. But why were people following me? It was because of what they were seeing. Value. So you have to ensure that you are very, very valuable. Give them reasons to stay. I remember that time I would create carousels. My sister is a graphic designer. I'll beg her, please help me to create. As at that time, I didn't even have money to pay anybody. So I would tell her, I need to create carousel. I need to give my audience something. I need to do this. I remember that time I was in a talking stage. We would sit down, create content for just because I wanted to post on LinkedIn. It was funny, right? Because it was like, please, what is this LinkedIn about? They will not understand. That's why I said you have to have a solid why. You have to identify your purpose and ask to push you. You see how everything is linking, right? So I remember those times I would sit down. Even right now, I make sure that I go the extra mile. I had to think about, okay, what's the next thing that my community needs, right? I had to create an event for techies, create classes for techies, create a community for techies, right? Secure partnerships for techies, because I was passionate, very, very, very passionate, right? So you have to give out value, right? They have to look forward to the next post. What does this person have to say next? Right? What's the next thing that she has to say? What's the next thing that he has to say? They are looking forward to the next post. If you don't post, they are reaching out to you. Why have you not posted? That was what I was getting. Why was I getting it? It was because of the value. If there was no value there, do you think they are going to be reaching out to me? Who knows me? Nobody. Do you think I'm going to want something? And I remember when I started my community, I'd not organized an event before, and I created the event, and we had about 500 people, and it was my first event. I was so shocked. I was like, people really turned up for it. It was because they had seen value there. It's simple, right? So you have to give out value to people, right? You have to give out value to your audience. You have to give them a reason to stay. You are an human being too. If there's no value there, if there's nothing that you are getting from there, will you stay? No. It's just the truth. It's the truth. So you have to give out value to your audience, right? your audience will go and tell another audience. Your audience will go and tell their audience that, do you know this? That's what I'm getting, right? People will reach out to me. I got your contact from this. I want to join your community. And I'm like, so these people are even preaching it without me saying anything. Value. It's that simple. So give out value, right? Things that, let me tell you this secret. Things that you get for, that you pay for, give it out for free. You'll get it in hundreds of folds. You might be like, oh, I paid for it. I paid this for it. I did this. Please give it out for free. You would see the way you get it in multiple folds. That was one of the things I did. That was one of the things that helped me, right? I put it, you're not, let me tell you something. If you want to build a global brand, right? If you want to build that brand that people will love, you have to go the extra mile for them. You're not just going to come every day or just come in the morning, ChatGPT, what is this? And just copy and paste it. No effort. I'm sorry. That's the same result you will get. If you want the extraordinary results, that's one thing I say, put in the extra effort. Let's proceed. The next thing that I want to talk about is that grow your network, build relationships. And this was one mistake that I made. You know, I said I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk to people, or I don't like to do this. I brought it to LinkedIn. And for like a year, it wasn't so good for me till I saw this, till I learned this. And it changed the game for me. Build relationships. Reach out to people. Don't say, and I don't know, what if they don't reply me? What if I get a no? Reach out first. The worst is that you get a no. And the no is not going to be on your head. Sorry, I can be very dramatic. The no is not going to be plastered on your head. You move on. Reach out to people. If there are tech mentors that you want to reach out to them. If there is maybe PCT, I reached out to PCT because I love that. She did not reply me and I've moved on now. And the only thing I'll just be doing is to just be engaging. But I know one day we are definitely going to interact, right? We are definitely going to talk. We are definitely going to build a relationship. While you are trying to reach out to people, you're trying to build network. You know the kind of network that you want to have. You have to be building yourself, right? One of the things that I think that's where I'm going to be ending, right? That's the last point I'm going to make. While you are building your personal brand, do not forsake your offline productivity. Make sure that you are learning, you are unlearning, you are working on yourself, you are building capacity. Not that you just come online, right? You are doing so well online. And offline, you don't know anything. That's going to be very, very sad. Most of the network of people that I have today, when I started, there were people I admired. I was like, oh my God, I want to talk to this person. But how was I able to get to sit on the same table with them? How was I able to get to stay in the same room with them? Because I worked on myself. I was working on myself. And even till now, what am I saying? I am. So you have to prioritize your offline growth over your personal brand online, right? You have to prioritize it. So the next thing, before I jump to that one, I wanted to talk about growing your network, right? Build relationships with people. You know, they say something, your network is your net worth. It's not a lie. It's not a lie at all. So it will give you, you'll be able to get encouragement, you'll be able to get support. And when I mean grow your network, build your network, you have to support people, right? And when you're supporting people, you're not supporting people because I'm commenting on this person's post because I want the person to comment on my post. I'm talking about LinkedIn now. LinkedIn is my sole focus today, right? No, you're supporting people because you have the arts to support. That's why you have to be passionate. You have to know your why, right? You have to know these things. You have to know your purpose. So you have to support people genuinely, right? Reach out to people, send DMs. That's when I talked about sending DMs. If you get a no, you move on and you continue to build. You will see that person, you will definitely get a connection later in the future, right? Don't say that they will not respond to me. Try first. Try. I know. I remember a DM I sent last year and I was scared too. I was like, what if he doesn't respond to me? And he responded. And I remember at the beginning of the year, we worked together. When I was going to have my event, he sponsored my event. And after a while, we worked together for his event. was just beautiful, just from one DM. Please don't sleep on LinkedIn. Do not sleep on LinkedIn. Like, whenever I think about it, or whenever I'm sharing some things, I don't know how I feel. I'm emotional, and I also blush too, because it's just so beautiful, right? And the next thing I want to say is be consistent, right? You have to be very, very consistent. Is there anything that you want to build, or is there anything that you want to know that if you're not consistent in, you'll be very good at it? No, you have to be consistent. It's just a rule. It's just a rule of life, right? It's a principle. You have to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to show up even on days that you don't feel like it. You have to show up on days that you don't want to. You have to show up. There's no giving in. There's no giving up, right? You have to be persistent, because let me tell you, there are going to be hard days. There are going to be days that you're like, what's this thing about personal brand? I know they do again. Or there are even going to be times that you're not getting the results yet. I said yet, because you will definitely get it. So those times when you're not getting the result, you have to still show up, because you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Or how was that quote again? So you have to make sure that you show up even when you don't feel like it. You have to be consistent. And consistency doesn't have to be that you are posting 7 times in a week. It could just be 3 times in a week. But then consistency is just you saying, okay, I will show up 3 times in a week by 8 a.m. and you stick to it. You don't break it. Right? You have to be very disciplined enough. See, building your personal brand has to do with like a lot of, should I say, soft qualities, right? Like discipline, consistency, persistence. All these things are very, very, very important. If not, it will be very, very hard for you. So you have to ensure that you show up, be consistent. And if you want to build your brand on LinkedIn, right, before I round up, sorry, can anybody let me know how many minutes I have more? I'm so sorry, I didn't check the time when I started. Can I know how many minutes I have more, please?
You still have like 15 minutes, 13 to 15 minutes.
Okay, 13 to, okay, thank you. That's perfect then. So you have to show up, right? Even on days that you don't want to, on days that you're like, this thing is not even working. Why should I continue? That's why I said your why has to be very, very strong, because it's that why that would make you get up from the bed, right? On days like that. I'm saying this because that's my story. That's what I have to do most of the times, right? On days when I'm like, see, what am I even doing? I'm tired. I need a break. I can't count how many times I said I need a break this year. I need a break. But then there's so much more to do. We'll take the break when it's time. So the next thing I wanted to say is if you want to build your brand on LinkedIn, right? Let me quickly run through that before I round up, and I'll just talk about the last thing, and we'll just call it a day before I take questions. So if you want to build your brand on LinkedIn, one of the things that you have to note is that you have to optimize your profile. I want to quickly run through that. Optimization of your profile is very, very important, because if you are creating content, you are giving out value. And I see your post and I'm like, oh my God, I really like this content. And I come to your profile and it's just a no. I'm already what? I'm turned off, right? So you have to optimize your profile, arrange your room. That's one thing I used to say. I'm coming to your house. You have to make sure that every part of your profile is arranged. Arrange every part of your room. Your profile picture has to be a professional one. Don't use a Snapchat selfie. Get a very good profile picture. I remember that time. I've never taken photo shoots in my life, but LinkedIn made me go for a photo shoot. Even on my birthdays, I don't take photo shoots. It's because that's why you have to be passionate. You have to have something that pushes you, that will make you get out of your comfort zone, right? So I had to go out for a shoot, right? Because it's very, very, very important. Most of the times, I remember a particular time I made a post and I got about 1,000 connection requests in one day. And imagine, I can't check through 1,000 connection requests. And what was I checking? Profile picture. Okay, is the profile picture good? Okay, accepted. If it's not good, I'm sorry, or there's nothing there, I'm sorry too. And I even read a post from another person today, and it was the same thing. The way you dress, they say something, the way you dress is the way you be addressed. But not that in this sense. But then you have to make sure that your profile picture is very good, right? If you know that you cannot go for a shoot, use a very, very good phone. You can use Snapseed to edit it and make it look better, right? The next thing is your LinkedIn banner, right? And let me talk about the headline first. And I said, define your niche. So please stick to one thing, especially if you're just starting out. Don't have too many things. Or even if you want to have too many things, 2 is okay, please. Or just one, right? If you're just if you're having one, you can talk about who you are, what you do, who you do it for, right? For example, maybe you're a graphic designer. I create mind-blowing designs that elevate your brand presence. You can have that on your headline, and probably maybe you're an author or just a 3-time author or an award-winning author or something. That's your headline. And your LinkedIn banner shouldn't be the same thing as what's on your headline. Like, why the tautology? So your LinkedIn banner can just be a quote or something that causes them to take an action, or a CTA, or you speaking at an event, just something that shows authority, right? Or or a quote that resonates well with you. So there are different things that can be on your LinkedIn banner, right? And the next thing is your experience section. Yeah. Before experience section, about section. This is a very, very long thing. Profile optimization could take like 2 hours, right? But I'm just trying to rush it through for you. Oh, wow, the lights just went off. I'm so sorry. I just hope, thank God we're about to finish up, but the light just went off now. So I'll just turn off my video rather. So just like I was saying, you have to your about section, right? I'm on the about section right now. For your about section, you could just talk about who you are, right? One of the things that I used to say is that start with a very, very catchy sentence. Sorry, I was distracted. Start with a catchy sentence, like your beginning sentence should be something that is catchy, right? I remember when I started I said, "Hi, my name is Boluwatife. I make the best spaghetti in the whole world." And I remember people reaching out to me because of that. So, and at that time, I didn't know what I was doing. Not like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't have any skills, so I just put something there. So what I'm just telling you is that you can play around with it, right? You can be very, very flexible. You don't have to be so strict. That's one of the things I used to say on LinkedIn. You don't have to be professional. Though there are some things that you have to be professional about, but I'm just telling you that you don't have to be so rigid, right? So your about section, you could talk about what you do, who you've worked for in the past, the results that you've gotten, and why should they hire you, or why should they work with you, or why should they reach out to you. So your about section can contain that, and your experience section should contain what you've done in the past for people, and make sure that you also add description to them, to each experience that you have. And somebody might want to tell me that I don't have an experience yet. Please go and volunteer. Go out and volunteer. I remember that time I also did not have an experience. I had to reach out to people and volunteer for them. So please and please, there are no excuses. So then you have other part of your profile like certifications. Get us certifications and add them. Sorry, this is just a run through. If I'm talking about profile optimization, it's going to take a very, very long time. So make sure that you include these things, right, on your profile. But just make sure that as long as you're creating content, you're putting yourself out there. I'm not supposed to come to your house. That's your LinkedIn profile. And what I'm seeing there is nothing to write home about, right? So all these things are going to, for example, your profile picture and your headline will catch attention. But then what will give them a lasting impression is your about section. So you have to make sure that you write it very, very well. So the next thing I want to talk about is that the core of your brand is authenticity. The core of your brand is authenticity. Do not try to fake anything. Do not try to say, okay, let me just fake it till I make it. It won't work. How they say, they work. So you have to embrace who you are. You have to embrace your journey. You have to embrace your qualities, your experiences, right? You have to show up as your genuine self. Please do not fake anything. That's the core of your brand. There's so much beauty in being authentic. I told you, right? I started from not having any skill at all. I told you, I shared everything. I shared the little stories. I didn't start from sharing that, okay, I got a job or something. I didn't have anything now, but I still kept showing up as who I am, as what I knew, as my experiences, right? So you have to show up as your authentic self. Nobody is you. You have your own unique experiences. There's something that makes you stand out. So please and please don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid. No matter, you might look, if I tell you the stories I shared when I was starting, very, very funny stories, but I wasn't afraid to share them. I just wanted to take people on my journey, right? So there's so much magic that you can get in being authentic, right? Your brand will flourish. If you go through my content, you will see the process. You will see me being confused about my journey, being confused about my LinkedIn, being confused about my tech journey and everything. And you will see that me getting clarity bit by bit. It's okay to go bit by bit. Please. So I want you to make sure that your personal brand is as authentic as possible. If you're still learning, it's okay that you're still learning. It doesn't make you less of anybody, right? So I want you to always show up every day that you're showing up. Show up as the best version of yourself. And the best version of yourself is you, right? It's you, not you trying to copy anybody. Copycats, it doesn't always work for copycats, right? As long as I know, right? So you don't necessarily have to have this Perspire to Maguire story to build your brand, right? You don't necessarily have to have, okay, I started making $10 million in 10 months or in 1 month. You don't also have the big stories, right? It doesn't have to be the big stories. You can start from the little stories, like I started from the small stories, right? From the me getting confused to me not having a laptop to work, or to me not knowing the right career path, to me getting like certification, to getting my first speaking engagement, to getting my first 200 followers. I don't know if anybody understands it, but then I shared the little stories. Don't be afraid to share your wins. It's your win, please. Don't let anybody tell you that it's too small. Don't be afraid to share your little wins. It all makes sense. And where I'm just going to be rounding up is the part of that I said earlier, right? The way that your brand is you're going to get that global brand is to ensure that while you're trying to build your brand online, while you're trying to show up, right? Show up and let people know you, oh, influencer, now you have to work on yourself. Make sure that you are building. In the tech space, right? If you're trying to learn anything, you have to be consistent. Make sure that you're consistent in what you're learning, right? Make sure that you're updated, right? Now is Web3 that is at first it was just Web2, right? But now we have Web3. Make sure that you're updated. Of course, there are people that just focus on Web2. I'm not saying you should jump to Web3 even if you're not interested, but then make sure that you know about it, you know what's going on, right? Make sure that you read, right? You learn, you take certifications, you are always up to date, right? You're not just building your brand and you're not working on yourself. You're not trying to be a better version of yourself, right? You might be like, okay, I can continue to fake it online, but trust me, one day you would get the repercussion, right? So you have to be very, very intentional about your offline growth, even more than your online growth. Yeah, because everything, it will add up, right? When you're getting the opportunities, imagine you getting a speaking engagement and people are meeting you and they're like, she just has see her online, like she knows she's just fake, right? She's better off online than offline. No, you don't want that to be your story. So Nexo girls, make sure that you prioritize your offline growth. I'm very, very sure that you're doing that, and I'm very, very sure that that message is always being passed across here. So make sure you prioritize your learning, your journey, right? It's unique to you. You don't have to be pressured. And I didn't talk about the part of you getting pressured on LinkedIn, but please and please focus on why you are there. I told you to identify your purpose. When you know the purpose, then focus on it. Every other person that is lying on LinkedIn is not your business. The only thing, when you see those posts, the only thing that you should feel is motivation, not oppression. Please and please. I don't know. I can't relate when people are saying they are oppressed though. The only thing I get is, okay, I can do this too. I can do better. So please and please forget about every other thing that you've heard about LinkedIn in the past. It can work. It has worked for a lot of people. It worked for me. It worked for me. The reason I'm speaking to you today is because of my LinkedIn now. It worked for me. It can work for you too. Whatever that you want to get on LinkedIn. I told you, I started after the first time I went in secondary school, right? I used to go for competitions, and the first time I stood in front of a stage, I literally forgot everything I wanted to say because I was so nervous. I do not like crowds, but LinkedIn has opened. I never knew that I was going to do public speaking, but then LinkedIn has added public speaking to my bio. I've gotten physical speaking engagements, even all sponsored speaker engagements, right? All sponsored trips to go and speak. And that's because I started to build on LinkedIn, right? I got my first tech job just because of my LinkedIn. The person, I just told the person that you can also check out my LinkedIn profile. Immediately checked out my LinkedIn profile. That was it. I didn't have to stress myself so much. And that's because I had been building, right? I didn't wait. I didn't wait for the perfect time till when I have that job so that I can share it on LinkedIn and people will follow me. No. Start from the little, simple, small stories, right? And before you know it, you're sharing the big ones and the bigger and bigger ones. So yeah, I think I don't know if I've extended my time, but that's just all I want to share with you guys today. And I hope that I'll see that you guys are building your brands, and you're not just building personal brands or just normal brands. You're building global brands that would stand the test of time, brands that would attract you to opportunities that you don't even expect, right? Opportunities that will blow your minds. That's what happened to me, right? And the beautiful thing is that I'm still on the journey, right? It's still a process. There's still so much more to go. There's still a lot to cover. So the best time to start building your brand is now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till when you get that big job or when you're done with your course. The best time to start is now. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope I've been able to convince and not confuse you to build your brand, and that the best place to build your brand is LinkedIn and LinkedIn alone. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Boluwatife. I enjoyed your section, and I'm very much sure that everybody agreed that we enjoyed the section. I loved the stories. It was so engaging. Now we are moving over to the Q&A question segment of this. I know a lot of us have a lot of questions, and we have some from the chat segment, and I will be asking you some of those questions from our participants. I hope you are ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So our first question is, how do I plan my LinkedIn post even with a busy schedule? So for that participant, what would you say? How does the person plan their LinkedIn post with a busy schedule?
All right. So one thing that you can do is to schedule your post. You can write it and schedule, right? But then there are different things that would help your posts have a wider reach, right? Before you post, you have to engage. After you post, you have to engage. And when I mean engage, you comment on people's posts, you like people's posts. So it will help you to have a wider reach, right? Especially if you plan to be consistent. So you can schedule your posts, or I would say that just you find a way to add it to your schedule, right? For example, I had to my schedule had to change entirely because of LinkedIn. So I'm very, very sure that you can find a way to add it to your schedule. But if you are very, 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 very busy, you can schedule it. So there's a way you can make the post and LinkedIn will post it for you automatically. But then choose a time where you can engage right before, and you can also engage after, right? Even if you don't have to start writing it like you have to start writing it on that spot, or you have to stress yourself about writing. You can just write it like on weekends. Then during weekdays, LinkedIn will just post it automatically. Schedule and LinkedIn will post automatically. Yeah, thank you.
We can hear you, Chinonso.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for that answer, and I hope that the person that posted this question have gotten the answer they are looking for. So our next question is, the person said, so now I don't have anything that I can post on LinkedIn and I must apply for internship this coming term. So how can I boost my profile because they need LinkedIn profile? So the person wants to know how they want to build a profile for their upcoming internship.
All right. Okay. So there are quite a number of things that you can post, right? Just like I said. So sorry about the noise. So there are quite a number of things that you can post, right? A lot of things, a lot. Just like I said, when I started out, I didn't have any skill, I didn't have anything, but then I still found a way to create content. You can talk about your passion, right? What are you interested in, right? And what you are interested in, what actionable steps are you taking? Probably something that you learned from a course, right? Attend events, and when you attend events, share what you learned from the event, physical events. This is something that you can even post, right? Sessions from Nexogirls, right? How Nexogirls helped your journey, or how you found Nexogirls. You found it on so person's status. Maybe you saw the link somewhere and you just decided to join, and how the sessions has benefited you, right? Or you could just pick a session and talk about things that you learned specifically from that session. There are so many things you can talk about. Or if you're still a student, you can talk about your experience in school. I remember when I started out, right? There was a certain time I was traveling down to school and someone stole money in the bus. I shared it on my LinkedIn. Please, there's content idea everywhere. I remember when I helped my mom save money, right, on CarryWise. I don't know if everybody knows CarryWise. And my mom did not want me to save for her because she was scared that, okay, what if they take her money? And they didn't take her money. I shared it on my LinkedIn that, okay, I was able to help my mom with this, and people even joined CarryWise from there. So please, there's content idea everywhere. You have to be your what's it called? I don't know the word to use, but there's so much content, so much. So just be very, very proactive, right? There are a lot of things that you can share, right? If you get certifications, get the certifications, talk about it. You take a course, you join a YouTube session, share it, or what you're currently learning in your niche, right? In your field. I don't know what you're doing. Probably you're a front-end developer. Maybe you learned a particular what's it called? I can't remember front end again. All these things, tags, or all these things that you learn, you can share it, right? You work on a project, please share it. A lot of things that you can share. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully that answers the question. And I like the part of sharing anything you learn from any section you join, especially this YouTube live that we're in. You can always share what you learned from there. So we are moving on to the next question. It says, what are the skills in personal branding?
Sorry, I don't understand the question. What are the skills in personal branding? I don't get the question. Is it skills that you must have, or what skills do you need to have to build a personal brand? I don't really understand.
Yeah, I think the person meant the skills you need in building a personal brand.
All right, so if it's about the skills that you need in building a personal brand, right? Yeah, you can build a personal brand in any skill, right? Any skill that you have. There's no restriction. I remember someone building a personal brand. She does snail farming, right? And she built a brand on LinkedIn as a snail farmer. This is not even tech related now. So there's no boundary, there's no limits, right? There's no restriction, or okay, you're doing this, you can join, or you're not doing this, you can build your brand. So anybody can build their brand, anybody. So it works for everybody, right? So there's no specific skill that will work or a specific skill that will not work. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, hopefully it answers the question. Thank you. The next question, it looks a bit serious. It says, I have a LinkedIn account but I can't edit and it keeps logging me out. How do I resolve this? So what advice do you give this person?
All right, so I don't know why it's logging you out. Probably it's your network. But if it's not your network, that means you are probably restricted, right? LinkedIn has probably restricted your account. And if LinkedIn has restricted your account, that means you have to verify with your passport. Yeah, it's just your passport that you can use. Or you can write to them that, okay, your account is restricted after you've tried using your passport. So if it's not a network issue, or maybe your phone cannot take it or something, probably your space issue or so, then it's definitely from what's it called? It's definitely from that your account is restricted. So you have to verify.
Thank you. I'm very sure the person will find the information useful. So our next question says, please, what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3? Can you hear me?
Sorry, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Did you get the question?
Sorry, what's the question?
The person is asking what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll try my best to explain this as simple as possible. Right. Web3 is the internet, right, that we all know today, right? And Web3 is, I'm sorry, Web2, Web2 is the internet that we know today, right? While Web3 is a newer and more improved version of the Web2. So Web2 has to do with Web2 is much more, what's the word now? Is much more is Web3 is more decentralized, right? It's more open and is more useful than Web2. There are really not much as much restrictions. Sorry, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we are with you. Go on.
All right, so Web2 relies more on centralized intermediaries, right? For example, your transactions and your data. But for Web3, right, you are the users have more control over their data, and you can only share it share only what is necessary. So for Web3, you get the full ownership of your content, your data, and your assets. That's where blockchain comes in, right? So for Web3, the security is much more tighter, right? And that is what a lot of people are using today. That's where you now get your wallet, where you get your passkey and all those things. So Web3 applies much more technology to increase security. So the main difference is that Web3 is much more decentralized, right? And you have more access. You have more control over your data, and you also have more control over your transactions. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. That was a very detailed answer. Now, the next question is a bit like the previous question, but just to reaffirm, it says, how do you find content to post? The thing is, I never know what to post on LinkedIn. So can you throw light on that?
All right, so just like I already shared, right, there are a lot of things that you can post. It's a lie that you're saying you don't know what to post. Not that it's a lie, but maybe you've not seen it. So I've opened your eyes to it, right? There are so many things that you can post. Just you can, one thing, that's why I'm saying that as long as you are working on yourself, there's always something to put out. And when I mean working on yourself, you are not just learning, right? Taking courses. Even while you are taking courses, right? You can always share what you are learning as at the course. And while you're taking courses, attend events, right? Virtual events, physical events. When you attend physical events, take pictures, share what you learn, or share your experience or something, right? When you attend virtual events, share your lessons, right? If you are still a student, what is happening? Just do your thing. One thing I used to say is find LinkedIn for yourself. Find LinkedIn for yourself. So you don't necessarily have to be restricted. Of course, they'll tell you that LinkedIn is a professional platform, but please do your thing, right? Do your thing. Don't be rigid and so strict that you're not even enjoying what you're doing. So please share as whatever you want to. You're free. But just make sure that you're not sounding like a clown, right? Make sure that you're still as professional as you can be, but I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. I believe that you understand me.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Now, the next question we have is regarding the verification of LinkedIn. It says, since you're Nigerian, have you verified your LinkedIn account with your Nigerian passport? Mine says the country of my passport isn't on the list of LinkedIn countries.
All right. So presently, right, I don't even have a passport, but my LinkedIn is verified. So I don't really know so much about verification using the passport. I used my email. If you are in school, right, you should be able to verify with your school email. You can add your school to your profile, like your education, then be able to verify with your school email. But then for passport, probably I have to check and share with you, but I don't really know so much. But I know that you should be able to, people have used I asked some students that have used their Nigerian passport and it worked. So maybe you should try checking if the document is right. Like there's no form of glitch probably on your phone or something. It should actually work. Nigerian passports work very, very well.
Okay, thank you for the answers to these questions, and that will be the last question on our Q&A segment. So the day's event is coming gradually to a close. So we're going to go through the summary, and we have learned today very much about personal branding. And personally, most of the things I've learned, especially from what you said, is consistency, authenticity, and just being real, being you. And there is content everywhere. So there's no excuse today not to start building your LinkedIn. And for me, I'll go back and start to build my own too, because I know I need a lot of work. So you too can also build your LinkedIn. So you can start today. There's post everywhere. You can talk about anything, school, the programs you went to. You can also start with today's program too. You can start with what you learned today about personal branding. Everything is post. So thank you once again, Boluwatife, Rotimi. I enjoyed your session. Thank you so much. And our thanks also goes to our team, the people behind the scenes that are also helping us to make sure that this program goes well today. And I also like to thank you, the participants that have devoted your time to join this program. And don't stop. The program has not ended. This is just day 4. We have 4 more days to complete the 8 days. So keep joining every day. There is no skill that is a waste. And every potential day you join is also a potential post for your LinkedIn. So thank you to everyone, and I hope to see you tomorrow too in day 5. And don't forget to follow us on our social media handles on YouTube, Facebook. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe today. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on X, and also follow us on Instagram. One more question, Boluwatife, is your name on LinkedIn in case anybody that joined today have any more questions for you personally?
Yes, you can just search Elizabeth Boluwatife Rotimi. You can just search Boluwatife Rotimi. It should bring out my name. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And is your light back on?
Not at all. It's not.
That's too bad. We're supposed to do our signature pose, but I guess I'm the only one doing it today. So thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you tomorrow and for the remaining 4 days. Thank you.